You ever look at one guy's life and say, yo, he looks like he's got it all together. Everything is in alignment. Everything's falling in place for him. And he seems happy. He seems fulfilled. He seems that um, he's living the good life, his best life possible. Well, there's some factors that really contribute to that. And we got to make sure we know what those are. And in this video, I'm going to explain three main ingredients, three key ingredients that will give a man that's necessary for a man to have a fulfilled life. So if you're watching live, love to hear your comments. Love for you to interact. Of course, like the channel. Go ahead, and subscribe, and share this with others along the way. But I'd like to hear from you. I can see your comments come through. If you have questions, comments, ahas, or takeaways, I'd love to hear them from you as we do it live. Of course, you're watching later on. I can check your comments later too as well. So let's get into it. When you look at life, now I'm going to give three key factors. Now there's nuances. There's some different factors that can always come in, but everything kind of falls under these three ingredients itself. So I want to kind of get into that itself. But my goal in life is to abolish weakness, to help mission-driven men live out their life to the fullest, to be able to contribute to they're using their gifts, using their talents. If a man's gift will make room for him and bring him before great men, we need to know what those gifts are. And so this is something that's essential for us to get into and figure out what is it that I'm here to do, but also do it in a way that's fulfilling, that brings joy, that allows me to lead the people that I'm called to lead in a strong and positive way. So we look at some folks and see, look, I want you to consider who are some people that I look up to, whether it's on social media, whether it's on YouTube, in your community, in your church, your family. What are some things about them that have that it factor that you may be looking at and say, you know what, that's it. One of the things I want folks to do is live to the fullest, live a life. Go hard is not about like training hard. It's part of it too as well, but it's really about living a life to the fullest, to fulfill the capacity that God has in store for us. Many of us fall short. I've definitely, I'm not even close to filling out my potential just yet. I'm just getting warmed up. And I think you are too. So in this video, like I said, we're going to kind of look at those things. And I want you to look at your own life and see where you are. Of course, if you're live, like I said, I want to hear your feedback. Give me some comments. I'm here live with you, and do my best to interact and answer questions as they come up along the way too as well. So when you look at number one, it's going to be, they're all C's. Number one is creation. We're here to create. So first thing we know about God in Genesis is that he created the heaven and the earth. He created all these different things along the way. So we know that this is his key attribute. The law first mentioned says the first thing we see about a thing or a topic or a subject or a person is the most foundational definition of who they are, of their character, their essence. So the first thing we know about God is that he is a creator. Okay, that's the first thing we know about God. First thing we know about man is that God created us in his image. Now, there's not a physical image of a spirit, so there's an image in this essence, in his likeness is how we're created. So if he's a creator, he created us to be creators. We're not like other animals. We're not like the things that God created. We're not like the stars and the moon and the hills and the water and all these things like that. We have an essence of God, a God likeness inside of us that is different from other animals and different other creations. So we're here to create. He created us to create things. He made us to make things. So what is it that you're called to create? Naturally, as humans, we think about as kids, we would make little things. Girls playing doll houses, guys would make mud pies, and we'd create war. I can remember around in my neighborhood, we would actually just create these, like if a new house is being built, and they put all this big sand dunes down or dirt down, and as it was going down, what's up, Christian? Good to see you again, brother. Um, as when they put the dirt down, there's clay inside there. We would have clay wars. And so we make these little balls of clay and we're throwing them at each other and create war with our imagination. We create ideas. We create thoughts. We as humans, we create other humans. We procreate. It's part of our essence. Our lineage gets passed down, and our DNA gets passed down. Our legacy gets passed down to our kids. So we create that. Some of us are called, if we can't physically, we have made limitations, either the man or the woman has limitations, we may create through adoption. We create an opportunity of family. Some of us create business. We create work. So there's a part of us, our essence, that is made to do that. But each man has our own unique gifts, talents, callings, certain specific things that we have that might be just weird about us. When it talks about we're fearfully and wonderfully made, some of it is we're fearfully and weirdly made. There's some things that just don't fit in a particular area because we're called to stand out. We're called to be different, to make a difference in a particular situation or a movement or whatever it may be. So step into that creativity. What does that look like you for that's unique? Bible verse I want to share with you is Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand, that we should walk in them." Walking in that creativity, walk into the thing that he's called us, and it's all individual. Some of us have, a collective, and we'll talk about that in a little bit too as well. There's a collection of things that we're supposed to do in collaboration with others, but there's a unique way that you do it. There's no one else that has your parents, has your age, your birthday, your experiences, your tests, trials, tragedies, triumphs. No one else has those. You do. All those things are part of creating you to be the person you have. Your experiences. Okay, what tragedy have you gone through that sharpened you to have not just an idea about something, but real life empathy? You've gone through it. I know what it's like to lose a house. I know what it's like to be in an abusive church relationship. I know these particular things that sucked going through it. It was hard to go through them, but there were things that actually defined me or refined me as a man. Things that were necessary for me to become who I am in the way I lead others, because I have a level of empathy. A lot of times people say, "Oh, you've always been fit your entire life." No, I've had some fat seasons. I've had some really dark seasons. I've had some dark in my thoughts, dark in my emotions. My physical body was ailing, and I medicated with food. I know what it's like to be the fluffy dude too, as well. I know what it's like to be the littlest guy. So there's parts of that my story and your story is essential to who you're called to serve. And the way you create conversations, and the way you create relationships, the way you create business or work as entrepreneurs, if that's your thing, or even inside of a business as an entrepreneur, there's different things that you have that you bring to the table that other folks don't. So what is it about yourself? Got a stat for you. 70% of people who are not engaged at work. 7%. Most people are just going through the motions because they're not able to create. I had one of my clients, he was looking at going to work for a particular industry. And it was very old school in a thought process. They would stick to certain things. And I know him as a creative person that if he had a new idea that was going to change and really be innovative for the company, but they were going to be like, "Nope, it's just too risky. We're not going to do that." He was going to suffocate. He was going to suffocate inside that institution, inside that workplace, because he wasn't going to be free to be innovative. And we discussed that, and it kept him from making a decision that probably was not going to be the right decision. So when you dig into the essence of who you are you going to be able to create in a certain environment? I'm a visionary. I've got to create. And being a visionary, guess what? If I'm in an area, in an environment that wants to stick to status quo, stick to places, doing things as we've always done it, just keep doing the same things like that, I'm going to suffocate. I've gotten myself in trouble in certain environments for speaking my mind and wanting to create and looking for new opportunities. So there's certain environments aren't going to be conducive of the type of person you are. If you are someone who is called to create in a particular way, it has to be in the right position. So what does that look like for you? What are the things that you're doing to step into those particular things? So, of course, are you mission driven? Your purpose. Being mission driven means I know my assignment, or I'm on pursuit of learning more about my assignment. You're not going to 100% know everything at this particular moment, because it will be more revealed faith unto faith. It's going to be revealed as you stay in motion and stay in action towards those particular goals. Then there's going to be some shifts, some changes, some things added, some things taken away to refine more and more according to the season that you're in. The season that you're in, the way that you live out your purpose and your mission, your meaning. And when, say, you have little kids, it's going to be different when the kids leave the house. There's some things that you have more liberty and freedom to create in a new way. So being open to those things as we go through it as well. So one thing is really important is alignment. Alignment with your relationships, alignment with your work, alignment with an organization that you're a part of. So it's fantastic if your work can align with your soul. Like if you can do things in your occupation, your vocation that line up with exactly what you want to do. Of course, you can do that as a full entrepreneur. That may not be the essence if you're working for a particular company. If you may not be able to do that. But outside of that, you can create something, whether it's a side hustle, side business, or even a project that may not be something that brings you monetary returns, but you may do the job itself might be the thing that brings that. But you want to have some kind of meaningful work. That's one thing in the Bible. It would look back. God gave Adam an assignment. He gave him meaningful work. He had dominion. He had assignment to name the animals and look over things. He had an assignment before he had a woman, before he had a wife. This is part of who he was I have meaningful work. So especially as a man, we have to have meaningful work. So the things that light us up, the thing that aligns with our soul, that aligns with our purpose, that aligns with our mission, what we put here to accomplish. Okay, so once again, if you're watching this live, go ahead and like and subscribe. Any comments or questions you have, drop them in there as we go through that too as well. So looking at that, what are you committing your work to say, I'm going to create? My legacy is going to be known. And my definition of legacy has changed over the years. Once again, it has grown. Legacy used to be, once I die, I want to have a huge funeral of people that are there because I've made an impact in their lives. Not that I'm so popular or anything like that, but these people I went deep with in their lives, and they're a part of what I passed on. That is still important, but not waiting to the end. Not waiting for the end to be the legacy. The legacy is right now. If you're watching this right now, I'm hoping that what I have to say is a legacy moment for you. For the person who's watching this right now, for the man that's watching this, that something in him makes him a greater man, that allows him to move more into purpose, mission, fulfillment, have more meaning, bring it out. This is a moment. A simple one for me is to go into the grocery store, and God has gifted me to be funny. So I should be able to make somebody smile. If I work hard enough, I'll make them laugh. So part of that is using my gift in that manner. So right now, being able to pour into someone like that, how does it look? So number one, once again, is my creation. I need to create something. I was put on earth to create something. Kids, yes. Work, yes. But there may be a movement that you're called to create. What is it for you that you know that you're supposed to be creating? You might be sitting on your butt and not getting it done. So I challenge you to step up into that. If you don't know and you're aimlessly going like these, 70% of people just going through work, going through the motions of it versus going through the experience of being a different person, to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, have some new thought process going on so that you can create at a high level. That's for you and for others as well. So number two, as we get into the next one, is connection. Okay. We talking about what God did. He did this and that was good. And this was that good. He made this and that was good. And that was good. First thing God said, it's not good for man to be alone. We are made to do life together. We are made to have connection with others, collaborations with others, be a part of a movement, be a part of a team. There's a reason why my fitness studios, we call our system team personal training. It's not group exercise. It's not group this. It is team. There's something that's different about the camaraderie of a team. And you think about it versus a group. A team of individuals have more like-mindedness, have more of a we're moving towards something together. Okay. When we do Tough Mudder races, I love it because everyone has an individual challenges and obstacles, literally the metaphor of the obstacles itself in our lives. They show up in those particular things. But we start together, we finish together. Like that's part of it. It's like, I want to be there to lead you past what you already thought you can't do. That's part of that, what it looks like to do that. But it's not good for man to be alone. We found that out in 2020 when we were all isolated. People went crazy. People started acting a plum fool. Domestic violence picked up. Oh, I was supposed to be giving y'all my little banners. My bad. I'm gonna get it. So this is the first one. Yay, creation. That was the first one I was supposed to give y'all, and now we're on 2 already. Connection. Yeah. I hopefully I remember by the third one. We'll keep moving by it. But anyway, so we're on connection right now. We found out in 2020 how we needed to be together. We were missing out on life. We're not having a connection. We're so isolated from one another. And of course, the news media made things even worse with all the different divisions and stuff that were going on in that particular time. So that didn't make things easier either. So if you go to prison and you get in trouble, the worst thing punishment they give you is solitary confinement. Okay. There's a reason why that they know that this is psychologically and emotionally damaging to an individual to be away from humanity, to be away from, we know that kids, newborn kids, they have to have interaction and connection with another human. They will die for not having physical touch. There's a reason why when the baby comes out, initially, as long as there's not issues are going on, they take the baby and place the baby on the mother. Feel that heartbeat, feel that warmth, feel that connectiveness that had from the inside. Now it's here. If dad's there, dad hold. Great. And that was my biggest moment, was holding on to this creation of this child that I created. So but the connection that we need, the holding of hands, all things are bringing stuff together. So when you surround yourself with a tribe of like-minded individuals, people who are moving in the same direction, not all necessarily at the same pace, because we have different pace, but moving in the same direction towards a specific goal, to something or just the betterment of humanity. To be able to be in a place where I'm not alone. I've got other people that's going to be on my side. As iron sharpens irons, a friend sharpens a friend. So this iron sharpening of individuals around me is what makes me move. It's like if you're sprinting, you can sprint faster when somebody's running next to you versus you by yourself. So the old African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's part of it, is going together with other folks there. Men with I'm going to read a statistic here. Men with strong social connections are 50% more likely to survive longer than those with poor or insufficient social connections. Okay, survive. We're talking about even just like living longer because you have social connections. And guess what, men, we're not good at having relationships. Sometimes we're not really good at now. I've got some strong relationships that guys that I go back with. I think about our wedding. My wife and I, we had a really big wedding. It cost a lot of money, but at the same time, we had 9 bridesmaids and 9 groomsmen. I'm sorry, but that's a little overkill. 3, 4, 5. Now here's the difference, though. I'm just real talk. All these dudes that was on the side of me, all these 9 cats that's on the side of me, I still have conversations with them today, whether it's through text or sending stupid memes to each other. These are guys that I rock and roll with. Ladies, y'all can't have 9 real friends. I'm sorry, y'all don't. Y'all just not good at relationships like that. But these are my dudes. These are my dogs. I still, when I go to New Orleans or go places with these guys in different areas, we still connect. We connect on a deep level. But a lot of guys don't do that. We have those lone wolves that when life hits hard, they go into isolation. They pull back from life. They pull back from the relationship. Sometimes even self-sabotage key relationships because they feel like they just can't be real with that person. And that's the biggest thing, is like, I need you to be vulnerable. I need you to have courageous vulnerability to share with me. I'm going to do the same with you. I'm going to lead with that. I go first. I'm going to show you that I ain't got it all together. I ain't got it all together. I'm working towards it, though. So to be able to share that, how many times have you been in a situation where you're scared to share something that you're dealing with? You're nervous about kind of letting it all hang out and put my business out there on the streets. And you share it, and your brother's like, yeah, man, I'm going through the same thing. Or my best friend, my coworker, my brother is going through the same thing. And you're like, what? Well, the Bible says that there's Christian brothers and sisters all over the world going through the same type of thing. But the enemy wants you to think you're alone. Nobody gets it. You're the only person. He brings in that shame, that guilt, that accuser of the brethren. Nobody's going to understand. You're the only one. Nobody's going to get you. And that's when we start listening to that story. Whose report are we going to believe? What God says about us or what the enemy says about us? What our circumstance or situation that's right in front of us, what does that say about us? And so we have to have a connection to folks. Just like, the Bible talks about us being connected to the vine, connected to the word, knowing what the solutions are. But there's people that we should be doing life with, whether that's, we can do, a lot of people say, well, I could just do church from home. I don't need to go to church I can read my Bible by myself. I get that. There's a reason why people like go to schools and go to like police academy and go to other places to be around other folks. To be a Christian is easier and more fun to do it with other Christians. That's why we have church. So go show up with other people that can actually hold you accountable for those things. Okay. If folks don't show up at our studio that are members, we're going to check on you. We're going to find you. We're going to find you. All right. We're going, this is part of it. It's the accountability. Okay. It's the accountability that I have to my brother and he has to me as we sharpen one another, doing life together. So you can do it by yourself, but you're also in this whole little silo of your own, own person. You may be, what are you doing? So as part of that is like going out and find out, I need to be tested. I need to find out if there's something in me that's not, that I need, that's lacking, or there's some things that I need to add, but I won't find out unless I'm in community. I'm in camaraderie. I'm doing collaboration and strategic alignments and alliances with other individuals. That's part of what it makes. Oh, I've got comments coming through and I can't see. I'm worried. Christian says, I found your channel last Wednesday and it's one of the best goddess channels of my life with various aspects. Let me put it out there so you can see it. Various aspects. And I immediately subscribed to it. Love it. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. I'm glad you're getting some usage out of it. I'm going to continue to do my best to serve you, brother. So thank you all the way from India. Like, I'm going, we international, baby. We all in India. So let your folks know in India and Sri Lanka and Singapore, you know what I'm saying? Portugal, we're going to go all over the place. Nah, we're going to get there. So that's cool. Rob said, what are some ways to develop these connections? Great question, Rob. What are some ways to being available? Be in places where you can have these like-minded relationships. I just think about through this week, what things have I done so far? Starting from Sunday. Let me go back. Saturday, we went to the movies. If you have not seen The Sound of Hope, oof, powerful movie. We went to another couple. My wife and I went with another couple from church. We hang out with each other every now and then, but not as much. We got to do this more often. Of course, those couples and those people that you can get together and do certain things. So we went ahead, movie, and went to dinner. From there, we drove to Austin. We're about an hour west of Austin. We went and hung out with one of my friends and his family who had his birthday. So we're in community and like being intentional with building and developing these relationships. And my boy Pete, who was the first one, me and him are funny. Like when I'll say on my description and things of that sort that I'm the third funniest guy in my church. He's number one. Pete is hilarious. But I got to spend time with him and his wife, Melissa, get to know each other, going deeper in conversations. We talked about faith. We talked about the movie. We talked about life and our kids and parenthood. So we're making connections right there. We're being intentional with that. So there's two families we hung out with there. Sunday at church. We're in Sunday school. Other families, we're discussing God's word, applying it in life application for it. So we're doing that on a regular basis right there. Going to regular church service. New couple shows up. We introduce ourselves to them. We're leaders in the church. My wife and I are. So that I'm on staff. She's in worship. She's gonna. These things like that. So being part of organizations like that. That was Sunday. Monday, I'm here in my studio. I'm training along with other folks. We're doing life together. At the end of each of our training sessions, we ask if anyone has any prayer needs or concerns or anything they need to pray. So we're like doing life, not only celebrating wins. And we're doing those things. We're praying with folks who may be going through certain things. We got folks right now going through chemo, who had surgeries. We have certain things that are coming along the way that we're doing life with. We're praying. They know that it's sincere love because we're loving on folks. We're serving them. We're being in the environment of doing it. So me and my coaches and all that. That's why we serve this community here. And inside of the community, there's certain we go out and do certain things that are like community events that we do those. Monday, not only Monday evening, we have our church, we put on our rec ministry and night church. We put on a ultimate frisbee right now. So we in Texas. It's at 7:30 at night because everything else before that is burning hot, and my people might pass out or whatnot. But these are folks in the community. We just pick teams. It's just we're playing ultimate frisbee, and we're just doing life, and we're having fun, and we're enjoying it. We're being active, getting to meet new people. So one of the things is like, okay, how am I really getting out there and doing certain things? You may look at Eventbrite or some different things that what's going on. Look at Facebook events. What are things are going on in my community that I can be a part of? What communities can I sign up for? If you're a guy, I know like Christian and Rob, both of you. I don't know. I have a Facebook group. I don't know if I can do this here at the same time. It's in the show notes too. I think it's in there too as well, the notes. But I have a free Facebook group for men. So ladies, if you're watching this ain't for you. This is for men only. They got about 650 guys in there. So I give content. I put stuff inside there, things that we can relate, because I believe that guys need a sacred place to be men, to be set apart, and where women aren't around, where guys can be guys. So that's one of those things like that. What small groups? What places can you serve in there? What places you connect in there? But of course, there may be some friends that I haven't talked to in a long time, and I may just reach out to some of these guys. Just send a text. Send a text and check on them. Go hang out. One thing we do also that I do is if a certain cool movie's coming out, we have guys night out. Like there's one coming up called the I forgot the name of it, but it's a Christian movie about Forged, The Forge or something like that. That's coming out really soon. We're gonna do a guys night out. Men with their kids, their sons will go together. You know what I'm saying? So I put on events to bring guys together, and we'll do that and go grab burgers or whatever it is that we do alongside with that. But we do those when cool movies come out. So it's not always just a Christian movie. Like we go see John Wick, and we'll go see. Last one we did was The Beekeeper. So we're intentional, being really intentional with creating these relationships is one of the things, Rob. So hope that gave you some ideas. I kind of went off on a tangent on some of those things, but it's really being intentional and getting over the fear of rejection, getting over the fear that maybe this guy won't like me or this people won't like me. I'm not part of that. Guess what? Move on to the next one. But really just be intentional with creating a relationship. There's things all across here. Right now, I'm creating new relationship with you and with Christian and other folks that are along the way too. So it really is just putting yourself out there. We have failures, we have insecurities, we have all those things, but you're not alone. All of us do. Don't let the enemy come in and tell you what you're not. Once again, he is the accuser of the brethren. He comes to kill, steal, destroy. He brings shame. He brings guilt. He brings condemnation. That's not of God. Those are the things that isolate us from a community of friends, community of believers, community of other guys along the way. Thanks. Rob said it's great ideas. Awesome, brother. Appreciate you. I'm glad that's helpful. So apply these things. And I'd love to hear from you. Reach out. Say if you get into the Facebook group there, or you can find me on all the social medias and say, hey, man, connect me on Facebook, connect me on all these different things. And I think we are. I can't remember. And say, hey, this week I did such and such. And I'm really intentional about doing it. Now, you can get caught, I'm an introvert. None of that matters. Don't get so caught in the labels of introvert, extrovert, what I've done. None of that really matters. Just be you. In Christ, you are more than worthy. You are worth it. You're worth having thriving relationships in your life. So that's part of it. Like I said, men need sacred places for men to be men, but at the same time, there's community, there are co-ed communities and things that you can do along the way. And that the frisbee deal that we're talking about, that's all co-ed. That's a whole bunch of folks with some of their kids and whatnot, and it's pretty fun. So finding those things to get going there. How to Christian says, let me see that. Oh, I hit the wrong button. How to cope up with the fear of failure. Fear of failure, yes, that's a real big one. It's not our lack of resources. It's usually our lack of resourcefulness. Failure is a part of it. If we understand, so if you like as an entrepreneur, I've had a lot of failures along the way. It's part of the process. In sports and in school, failure is part of it. If you can realize that failure is a part of this thing, failed relationships, failed joint ventures, whatever it may be, it's part of it. But Don't let the fear stop you from moving forward. So if you can reframe that you're going to be fearful, that's okay. Courage is not in the absence of fear. Like I'm nervous even when I get on and do these things. Am I going to reach people? I'm thinking about that, but I got to go do it anyway. Feel the fear, do it anyway. Fear the fear, do it anyway. Fear kills the dreams more than failure ever will. The fear is the thing that stops us so many different ways. So it's like, if you know that, I'm gonna have some L's along the way. But here's the way the philosophy I heard a long time ago is that I never lose. I either win or learn. Failures are opportunities to learn more about me, more about others, more about the circumstances, situations. So I don't count it as a failure because as long as I learn something. Now, if I don't learn a lesson, yes, I'm failing. But what's the lesson that I need to learn? Because you know what? I can look at it and say like, was that was it Edison said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways of not to do something. Like, what? I know that didn't work. That didn't work, so I know not to do that again. I've learned what not to do so I can focus on what I want to do. What's the next opportunity to make this thing happen? So it all comes down to our perception. Our perception is our reality. The way we frame life, the way we frame certain circumstances is how the outcome is going to come out to be. So pay attention to the way failure is part of it. It's not the end of things. It is part of the process. So that's one way to kind of reframe that. Hopefully that helps you there with Krishna. All right, so let me get the last one. As I said, it's going to be all 3 C's. I gave you creation, number 1, connection. You can say camaraderie, all those things that line up with that. And number 3, before I get number 3, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that right now. Share this, like this, do all the YouTube things on there too as well, and share this with your folks. So number 3 is contribution. How can I use what I've learned, what I've created? I use the relationships and the discussions and things that I've done with other individuals to contribute. How can I give to others? Now, some of it is give back. I don't necessarily give back to your community per se, because, not everybody's community really gave them anything. Now, you may want to give back to your alma mater, whether it's high school or elementary or college. You may feel some obligations to want to give back to those that have actually contributed to your life in some form or fashion. So that could be financially, that could be with time, that could be whatever it may be. Talking about another connection. Tomorrow, one of our associate pastor at our church, his son is a youth minister up in the Dallas area. They're on a mission trip down here and asking me to come give a message to his kids. I'm going to contribute out of my gift of being a coach, being a preacher, being a pastor, to be able to bring forth a message to put into these guys and gals' lives, these young folks that are on a mission trip. So I'm going to contribute through my gift. I am a coach, a teacher, a preacher through and through. I'm going to give through my gift. And there's a difference. When I give from my gift or give from my gift, that means there's nothing left. When I'm done with this conversation, I still have the ability to coach and have coaching conversations. I have the ability so nothing is lost. It just goes through me. I'm a conduit of the gift that God has given me. I'm a conduit and allowing it to flow through me. So I want to contribute to this next individuals. What does that look like? Okay. There's a reason why it says it's better to give than to receive. I love giving out of my gift, through my gift, I should say. I love being able to do that. So the Bible verse here is Matthew 5:14. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. There's a part of you that's supposed to stand up and give out of this gift. Give to the next person. Who is it that you're called to lead? You're called to serve at a high level. So that means that there's some things that I might need to learn. I may need to read. I might need to listen to podcasts or YouTube or take the course so that I can have more self-mastery of my gift. I can be better. I'm constantly learning how to become a better coach, to be a better consultant, to be a better teacher, to be a better preacher, to pastor. All those things I'm constantly looking at. How can I get better at these things? And of course, I forgot to put the banner up there. There you go. There's contribution. There it is. Right there, point 3, the third key, right there, contribution. Once again, I'm gonna get the flow of this thing as we go. I ain't worried about it. Once again, I'm doing this imperfectly. This is just imperfect action, guys. I'm gonna get much better with this as it goes, just like whatever it is you're getting started. We suck at everything when we first get started. You're gonna be bad before you're good and good before you're great. Most people won't take the time and the energy and the lack of esteem that happens going from bad to good. Good to great takes time, but from bad to good, you don't look. You look. You make mistakes. Like we talk. Rob. Christian was asking about fear of failure. I'm going to make mistakes along the way. I did not do this presentation perfect. I have my notes. I have certain things that I believe that if I show up, the Holy Spirit is going to show up inside of me to deliver what you guys need. I have some things that I'm going to go from, but I'm not perfect with this. No one's perfect. Perfectionism keeps us from moving forward. So, but I know that I'm called to contribute a message that's going to speak to the soul and speak to what I like to call my soulmate client, your soulmate person that you're called to work with. I know I'm called to work with men. I know I'm called to work with athletes and entrepreneurs and those go-getters and thought leaders. I know that's my calling, at least in this season. At some point in time, there'll be a nuance of that works with young men, but not in this particular season. So the way I contribute is what I pour into myself. What am I? I'm being able to walk in those particular things itself. And I learned that from one of my former coaches. That term, a lot of times we talk about creating an avatar, your client, the person that you call to serve. And Nicole Spencer said her soulmate client. Ooh, like just like you're talking about your soulmate as far as your spouse or whatnot. This is a person that God designed me and put me on earth to serve at a high level. That's what I want to contribute to. So guys, you know what I got to do? I got to do enough market research. I need to hear questions and things that you guys are talking about, but give me some feedback on what's your pain points. What are the things that light you up? What are the obstacles that you commonly run across? I obsess over that kind of information about purpose and meaning and drive and leadership. These are the areas that I obsess over learning about. I know people, bastardize the word obsess in so many different ways, but obsession towards the things that you're called to do is right. You're supposed to like go all in on those things, whether you want to say 80-20%, the Pareto's principle, but I'm putting in the work in these particular areas because I want to be masterful at helping transform lives in the area God has called me to do it. So I'm intentional with those particular things when it comes down to how I contribute. Okay. So serving those who align with your values, your mission, that creates this energy too as well. Because when you're serving at that high level, you're serving where they are. You're helping them to break down barriers. You're helping them to break down walls. You're helping them to move closer to what God has called them to do. So I enjoy doing that, helping them remove the obstacles or empower them to do so. Okay, to give them the power, to equip, to exhort, encourage. These are the things. Those 4 E's is what I do, with my clients, and people that I get an opportunity to serve and love. What about you? Who are those people that you feel lit up working with? And the great thing is, on the other side of that, what folks you don't like working with. Like I know people have a victim mentality. Folks who whine, complain. Like, yo, that's not my people's. You can't moan and complain and whine about making excuses and always have. No, I'm not your guy unless you're willing to die to those and kill those excuses. We don't work together. You're not my tribe. Now, I'm not saying you have it all perfect, but you're willing to die to those particular things. All right. Paul says, I die daily. There's things that we need to die that are no longer serving us for where we need to go and to serve the people that we know that God is calling us to serve. Okay. So with that intention brings joy, brings satisfaction. I love to give through my gifts, to coach, to teach, to lead, to have the financial acumen to be able to tip like obnoxiously. I love to do that. So there's a part of me that John 10:10, abundant and full life is going to flow through me. Finances going to flow through me because I'm going to be able to bless others. Yes, I want my life to be in a good position myself first and foremost, but also it is to serve others in a high level. So the contribution, what does that look like when it comes down to who am I called to contribute to? Who are my soulmate people that I'm called to pour into their life? I'm able to have the overflow of what I'm doing for me that pours into other folks there. Thanks to Rob. Rob said it's excellent. Like this. Thank you. I appreciate you liking the video. Keep coming back, brother. Keep coming back. Hopefully, and saying let your folks know about it. Let other guys know about what we're doing here too as well. So those 3 components is what's going to lead that fulfillment, that joy, that gives you that vigor for life, because you are moving in an area that just it takes away a lot of the tension because you're flowing naturally. Like, I can do this, like Captain America, I can do this all day. I can teach and coach and do these things all day long because this is what I'm called to do. I'm, you know, you don't always get there. I'm 48. I'm still figuring things out how I'm gonna do it even better. I'm only 48. I'm just getting warmed up. Some people think maybe that's too young. Maybe that's too old. What stories are you saying about the way you're going to be able to create, the way you're going to connect, the way you're going to contribute? Which stories are you telling? The right story, the story that's empowering you to move towards it, or are you telling us a limiting belief about why it's not going to work? Either way, it's going to be a decision you make to say, I'm going to go all in, or that's not for me. But once again, if you don't do it, will you regret it? If you don't move forward and go all in on those particular things, learning along the way, failing along the way, stumbling along the way, but making progress, building momentum towards your goals, are you willing to put in the charge to do that? On the other side of that failure and that difficulty is a new person, is a stronger, more confident person, a person that is willing to take on the next step. You don't need to have all the answers down the road. Have a clear vision, create core values, but I need to have enough light for the step that I'm on. That's why the Bible talks about he's a lamp unto my feet. I only need to see the next few steps. I don't need to see the whole thing, but step and then step and learn and look around and observe and step, learn, look around, observe, have awareness of myself, awareness of my surroundings, and awareness of what my soulmate client needs. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope this is helpful. And once again, subscribe to the channel, like this video, help all the algorithm, YouTube stuff happen. And as I continue to pour out and do more and more to help serve you guys on this channel. So love you guys. God bless. Go hard. Peace.